All right, what I'm going to do right now is uh, give you an addendum to the lesson in the park that was done on rape. And I'm just going to point out some of the scriptures that the proponents of the rape doctrine use to justify this false claim that rape is lawful. And so they try to give prophecies of the kingdom um, showing that, Israel will be raping women. And what I'm going to do right now is show how those prophecies that they're giving you are false. And I'll also show from the law how we're supposed to conduct ourselves during a time of war when we're in these situations. So if we can go to Isaiah chapter 13 right now, we'll start at verse 16. This is a scripture that they try to use to justify rape. It reads, "Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished." And then they'll say, see, we're going to ravish the women. But the fact is, nowhere in this verse or in this chapter does it say any Israelite or any righteous man will be doing these things. If you read the very next verse, it says, "Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it." So it's talking about the Medes. All right. And it reads in verse 18, their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. Verse 19, "And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when Mighty One overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah." All right, so it clearly shows you it's speaking of the Medes going against Babylon. All right, if you just look in the first verse of Isaiah chapter 13, it says, "The burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amos did see." Now, I want to save the details on this topic for another lesson, but the fact is, the scripture clearly talks about Babylon. Now, you can guess and and speculate and say, "Oh, America, it's talking about the United States. This is Babylon." But the scriptures don't give you that information. That's something that people have and men have came up with. All right, that's total speculation. But anyway, the fact is, it does not say in the chapter that any Israelite or any righteous man will come and do these things. It says the Medes will be stirred up against them. All right, those are the people who would do these things, not any righteous Israelites. Okay, now let's go on to another verse that's used, another verse that's actually misused to justify a false doctrine of rape. In Zechariah chapter 14, verse 2, it says, "For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and the women ravished. And half of the city shall go forth into captivity, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city." Once again, without even getting into the topic and time frame of this prophecy, it says nothing in the text that any Israelites or any righteous men will be ravishing the women. Okay? And it actually tells you in the beginning of the verse, "For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem." Okay? And the city shall be taken. So if these nations are coming against Jerusalem and the city being taken, obviously these nations or Gentiles will be doing the ravishing. That's just common sense. Okay? Anyone who's telling you otherwise, they're just taking advantage of your ignorance or your lack of reading comprehension, because this is obvious. All right, now let's go to the Torah. Let's get an example on how we're supposed to conduct ourselves during a time of war. The Most High gives us rules and regulations on how to conduct ourselves during a time of war with our enemies, and even if we see a woman that we like amongst our enemies. or a woman that we love or have interest in. All right, this is covered in the law. And this law will remain in effect in the end times when we do have dominion and are able to overcome our enemies. So in Deuteronomy chapter 21, verse 10, it reads, "When thou goest forth to war against thine enemies, and Yahweh thy mighty one have delivered them into thine hands, and thou hast taken them captive, and seest among the captives a beautiful woman, and has a desire unto her, thou shalt just ravish her and rape her," right? No, it doesn't say that. It says, "And seest among the captives a beautiful woman, and hast a desire unto her, that thou wouldest have her to thy wife. Then thou shalt bring her home to thine house, and shall shave her head, and par her nails, and she shall put the raiment of her captivity from off her," meaning she's no longer a captive. "She shall put the raiment of her captivity from off her, and shall remain in thine house, and bewail her father and her mother a full month." I mean, she has to wait a full month. "And after that thou shalt go in unto her." After that. Not when you first see her, but after a month. After you've taken these steps and done these things, then thou shalt go in unto her and be her husband. Does it be her slave master? No, it says, "and be her husband," which is a ruler. I believe that word is Baal. Yeah, Baal. Word number 1167, Baal, a master, hence a husband. Figuratively, owner. But in this sense, husband. And you'll see, as the text will show, you're not simply just a slave owner in this situation. Okay, it says, "And after that month, that thou shalt go in unto her and be her husband, and she shall be thy wife." All right, she's your wife after that. Verse 14, "And it shall be, if thou have no delight in her, then thou shalt let her go whither she will, but thou shalt not sell her at all for money. Thou shalt not make merchandise of her, because thou hast humbled her." Okay? And that's the law on how we're to conduct ourselves during a time of war, when we overcome our enemies and we have captives. We're to remain civilized. We're a righteous people. We're to be an example to the nations. We're not to act like savages and barbarians and dogs, dogs in heat, just going along, doing whatever you want, following your lust. That is wickedness. And anyone teaching this is wicked. They're teaching against the words of the Most High, against His commandments, and they're steering ignorant brothers or naive brothers in the wrong direction. And this has to be stopped. So everyone, I pray that the Most High has blessed your understanding in this regard. And rape is wicked. It's not permitted by the Most High. And if you don't believe it now, I hope you don't have to learn this the hard way. If someone in your family, your sister, mother, daughter, or you yourself gets raped, you'll see how wicked it is when this hits home. And I guarantee that you won't support the doctrine of rape, which is not in the scriptures. It's actually taught against. And with that, I'll say shalom.